Hi.
How goes it? You got it, dude.
So do you have did you finally get a mic? I
No,
watched that Crowder Boys episode.
I'm actually using the M3. I've no like to be happy. Like I got a MacBook donated to me after mine was stolen.
Oh yeah.
The mic in the computer is actually good.
Oh hell yeah. Yeah, you actually sound pretty good.
I
Yeah.
know. I
Yeah.
stuck my headphones in. I'm
All
gonna get a drink real quick. I'll be right back.
right. How you doing, Dalton?
I'm tired, man.
Yeah. You look
Dude,
so beat up, dude.
so sleepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the end of the fiscal month, so I'm scrambling to get some sales in.
Oh, yeah. You get some caffeine, buddy.
I mean, after a certain point, it doesn't like caffeine doesn't do me any good. Like if I have like 2 cups of coffee in the morning, anything after that is just diminishing returns.
You gotta hit that Celsius again though.
No, I'm off the Celsius.
Yeah,
Celsius.
me too.
My favorite one is grape.
It's great. I love all of them. I really like
I
the guava kiwi. The guava kiwi really hits. That's
I
good
saw
stuff.
there's like a cherry cola one now. I do want to try that.
There's a cherry cola Celsius.
Yeah.
Whoa.
They're
Yeah, that's
making
a game changer.
They're making everything. I love this. Like grape one. It's so funny. Whoever thought let's rebrand soda as an energy drink is just the
Yeah.
thing I've
Yeah, it
ever.
started with Coke, then just moved on to bigger and better things.
No, if I drink a Celsius, it feels like the video game Res. Like I'm pulsing through the
Yeah.
mainframe.
Dude, I used to slam two of those at work.
Yeah, dude.
Like slam them. I would like
Oh,
chug
yeah.
one and then I might wait an hour and I'll drink another one.
Let's introduce you guys actually.
Oh
Troy,
yeah.
I'm friends with on the internet, and then Dalton is someone I knew in real life. How do you guys know each other?
The
Say it.
internet.
Say it.
Yeah, basically via the internet. Like I knew Dalton. Well, I didn't know Dalton really. I was kind of a fan of Dalton when he was doing like LOS, so like Legion of Skanks and like Louder Boys and stuff like that. And actually, I kind of caught him like on like the tail end of things, like when he started doing like he started having like his manic episode and stuff. And I was like, oh shit, things have kind of shifted for Dalton. And then at a certain point, I saw that Dalton was back on Twitter and stuff, and I saw he was like, it seemed like he was better. And like, I think Dalton's pointed this out before, and I think he's right. Where once like someone who was manic starts posting things that make sense again, then it's like, okay, maybe they're back, maybe they're actually back to the real world.
That
Uh, yeah,
reality.
but that was basically it. And then like I just I think really what happened was I kind of became friends with Drew Flores. And Drew Flores added me into this group chat, and that's when me and Dalton really like started becoming friends, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The internet has connected us all. When do we like is we still make that distinction that it's like there's like the internet and the real in real life. So it's like these are my friends from the internet and my friends from real life or whatever.
Yeah.
But I
No,
think like the internet has got to be like more real than real life at this point. Like I spend more time like interacting with people online than I do in person.
Yeah,
yeah.
like I think that I have I don't know, like it doesn't seem all that different when I interact with people. Well, granted, a lot of the people I talk to online I podcast with. So it
Yeah,
is almost like I'm talking to them like in front of me. But I don't know, I don't really see that much of a difference if I'm talking to like my real life friends.
yeah.
What
I
about you, Sarah? Do you have any friendships that you've made on the internet or
Yeah, and some of them are actually like the real friendships that are actually like still with me. But then
yeah.
some of them, if you meet people who you think you're friends with online and then you need them in real life and then they don't pull through, it's like,
Yeah.
I hate you. You know what I mean? It
It-
actually was like I had I've dated somebody who I was friends with online for like years, and then he actually disappeared completely out of my life. Like he just knew
uh
fire break up with me, he just left. It was kind of crazy. It was like
yeah.
the same way he came, he exited, you know?
Yeah, yeah. He
In and
was like, if I
out.
just block her on everything, she can't like contact me.
He didn't even block me. That's what was weird. It was like he left my friends that I introduced him to at my birthday party on his close friends. And my friend said, "Is so and so in Hawaii right now?" And I was like, "He was in Brooklyn yesterday."
Yeah.
And it's like, why does my friend know where my boyfriend is?
Let's see. That's a question.
That was I hated that one. That was crazy. That was like a COVID relationship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was funny.
Yeah.
You guys would like this joke. So he was a black person, and anytime we'd go out together, he'd call himself OJ. Like if
Hell
we had
yeah. Hell yeah.
funny, he was like,
Oh man.
"Hey, for that," I'd be like, OJ.
Do you remember when OJ had a prank show?
No.
What, you
OJ had a
mean the
show like
news?
yeah. OJ had a
That
show
little
called
prank he pulled? Yeah, I remember
he pulled a real big prank on the nation. Yeah.
that. Psych!
Telling you,
He had a prank show that was like punked. He would like literally show up as like OJ Simpson, like out while like a prank was going on with actors. He's like, "Gotcha," and just OJ Simpson popping out of a corner, and they're like, "What the fuck?"
He was funny.
Oh yeah,
He was very like he had like a big personality and he was very funny. He would have had
I mean,
probably a
who
great like second career as a like comedic actor and personality.
he was a very funny comedic actor, like in like the Naked Gun movies and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like he's legitimately very good in them.
I mean, he was like he had that sort of magnetism that you like when he got out of prison and was like posting again because he didn't know how to use Twitter ever. Like
Yeah.
he didn't tweet; he would just post videos anytime he used it. Every time I was like, "This is great! This is a great video."
OJ Simpson blocked me on Twitter. That was fun. That was like
Really?
great. That was like an achievement of mine. Yeah. He had like some post. It was like when I forgot his first name. Something Dickus died. He was like a
Oh,
Chicago
Dick
Bears.
Butkus.
Yeah, Dick Butkus, yeah.
Yeah.
And he died and he had like this like this video about it. And it was kind of harmless. I was just like, it's cool, OJ. Like Dick is with Nicole now. And that's all I said. And then he blocked me.
Probably
I was like, all
struck a
right.
chord.
Yeah, I guess. But you would think that he gets
I
that
do
every day.
appreciate getting blocked by people like that. Like when someone who's either famous or a big account blocks you, it
It does feel
does.
good.
Yeah, it
feels
signals to me
like
that
a follow back. It feels like a it feels like an engagement, you know.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
well
Oh, that name block.
either they did pay they were paying attention and they had to like go through the effort of blocking me or maybe I just triggered some algorithm that they got set up. I
That's
don't
what
know.
that's what I was wondering where it's like he just has like auto block if anyone mentions the name Nicole or
Yeah, because
something.
I don't. To be honest with you, I don't know if OJ Simpson would have known how to
Yeah.
block. So I don't know, like he would have known how to navigate Twitter enough.
And it was fairly quick. So I was like, oh shit. Like he's on the comments
Yeah,
right now.
you might
Yeah.
have just like tripped some wire. Like his people probably set up some sort of like a program.
I like to imagine I made him mad and now he's dead. That's how I like to frame it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's funny. I mean, what kind of person has a sense of humor to write a book called like If I Did It?
I
Like
know. And then he has like
Yeah,
a full chapter in it. I only know this because I listened to Louis C.K. on like O&A talk about this, where they were reading from the book or something, and it was literally a full chapter where he made up like this imaginary person named Charlie who was there during all of it, and Charlie like was I guess like his good conscience if you want to read into it like that, because Charlie's just like, I don't think we should do this, OJ. OJ, I think this is a really bad idea. You're really going too far with this. And then like at the end of it, he's just like, yeah, so I like cut up her head and everything. And then Charlie was like, hey man, I gotta bounce. And he's just like, you just get on out of here, Charlie.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
He
so
like
what's going on with books? By the way,
oh
he
man, I
wrote a
don't know.
book.
going on books, by the way.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah,
you
well,
lost me. I
because
don't know.
like the world of publishing has been dying for the last like 30 years, pretty much,
Yeah.
and it seems like it's like finally on its in its death rattle. The world of publishing, but books are still getting published. I don't know who
Yeah.
I don't
I
know
think
who.
books are coming back, man, because everybody hates the internet now.
Oh,
I
maybe.
yeah, I guess, but so like if you go into the way I think about it is like if I go into a Barnes and Noble, both.
Yeah.
You
And
went, you go to Barnes and you go to Noble.
yeah.
Barnes has the covers. Noble has the
Uh,
actual pages. Yeah.
I'm like, and I felt this as a kid. I like keyed into this. I used to feel overwhelmed going into bookstores because I'd be like, there's a lot of goddamn books in here. Like
Yeah.
so many fucking books, and most of them you never heard of. Like most of these authors, you know, nameless, forgotten people. And there's all these books about spaceships and pixies and shit. And but they got published or on the shelf, and yeah,
70% of them are like working as like baristas, like maybe at that Barnes and Noble.
yeah, they
Yeah.
that is true. Yeah,
Yeah.
they have like day jobs, and so books are still getting published, but not like nobody reads or. Or people like I guess there's people that buy books and don't read them.
There's a lot of that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I do wonder like does it even for the person making publishing a book. Like I saw that
What?
Lewis is writing a book.
No, he's
So
not.
so, so
too. I am writing a book actually. It's the only creative project I've had. I've actually been bragging about it. I'm like, yo, I'm not doing comedy anymore. I'm writing a book.
I
Because
believe you writing a book over Lewis.
yeah, some
I can't believe Lewis can read a sentence.
some publishing company is underpaying someone to write a book for Lewis.
Yeah. Whoever ghost wrote Anthony's book.
Right.
Yeah.
I know that guy's like it's like a skink fest type guy or Legion of Skank. He run that on
Yeah,
Yeah,
he runs like Gas Digital and like all that shit. Yeah.
yeah. It's
or whatever. But there's something about I've listened to him and he sounds like he's like a passionate person. Like I'd say
yes.
passionate.
Yeah, he's just constantly on testosterone, adrenaline. Yeah.
Yeah, but I saw that he
On something. Like he's on a Percocet and an Advil and a fucking Celsius at the same time.
yeah.
He's mostly on weed, believe it or not.
But I saw when he tweeted it that he's got this book coming out about his childhood, and I'm like,
Ugh.
how does I don't even understand like how this benefits you because what's possibly going to be in that book that hasn't already been said over and over and over again on these podcasts. I don't. I like. I
Well,
don't know. I guess it's just another way to make money from the people that already subscribe to his network. Because
yeah,
I
for
don't know
sure.
that I can't imagine the kind of person that's never heard of Lewis that sees that book on the shelf and goes, "Oh, this has piqued my interest." This,
Well, what would bother me is like if comedians start reading it and they're just like, "Oh, I don't want to make a Lewis's dad joke got stabbed anymore because I know the backstory."
everybody knows the backstory though. That's
I
the
don't,
thing is,
I'll read the book.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
yeah,
he
maybe I
found his
guess it's for
readers.
Sarah. I don't. Yeah, I just
It's for
wonder
people
like
who aren't Gas Digital subscribers.
yeah, because like I read books, but I there's nothing in I've never been enticed to buy a book that like a new book from like an entertainer or even like a new like if you go to a bookstore now like most
Oh, a
new
book I
books
read by a comedian that was actually very good. I read Sarah Silverman's book.
Oh yeah.
It's
When'd
called
she
Bed.
write that?
It's
Is
called
that
Bed
like an older one?
2008 or something like. It's an old
Okay.
book.
That's when I
um
liked Sarah, so I might like it.
It's like an autobiography. Like she talks about her life, you know. She doesn't even talk about comedy. It's kind of cool. She talks about like her childhood
Hmm.
and how she was a kid bedwetter. And
Be so sick if Lewis is just copying the book like
yeah, he
front to
just writes
back.
down her
yeah.
Just changing certain details.
Yeah, I remember my bat mitzvah.
Yeah, I remember my
I
first
remember my
period.
bat mitzvah.
like I was like saying to my friend today, I was like, you know what? I am an adult bedwetter, but what's funny is it never happened to me until I started drinking alcohol, and I'd be like bedwetting.
Oh yeah, that's happened to me a bunch.
That's too much to drink. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's a good book. I read it. Listen, I used to take myself out to Buffalo Wild Wings in Brooklyn. I used to take myself out for wings and beer and
Hell
read
yeah.
Bedwetter publicly. And the bartender at the Buffalo Wild Wings would come up and he'd hug me. And I couldn't tell if he was hitting on me or he felt bad.
He just has like a urine thing. He's just like, maybe if I hug her.
Really funny, man. Those were the days. Like I used to make good money and just take myself out for wings. And
Yeah.
yeah, my life back in 2018 was pretty good. Like
Yeah, nowadays you gotta figure out a new trick to make money
I can't
now.
afford
Like
anything
get a
anymore. No,
book published.
really? I mean, I have guys, you want to know what my book is about?
Yeah, what is your book about?
Sure.
Love. Love.
Never mind. I don't want to know what it's about
Look,
anymore. There
oh,
was
it's
too much
about
build
love.
up.
Yeah, it's getting it's like nowadays it's weird. It's getting harder and harder to like understand how to make money because it's the old system is gone. Like where you would develop a skill and get a job, and all the people in their like early 20s understand how to make money now, which is like be stupid and do content. And we were advised against that. Like our generation was told that that was a fool's errand. So we were like, oh, I guess I'll go to college and learn how to do something. And then they started automating everything, and now we're like, man, I really should have been doing content this whole time. Should have been like,
Yeah,
I should be the
Content,
Rizzler.
content
for
is king.
real.
I learned a whole male trade. I learned software engineering, so I'd never not have a job. And guess what? Who has not had a job in a year? Me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, like that whole field, like CS and all that is getting
Over.
slaughtered right now.
Over. Like, you know, how many interview I've done? I've done first round interviews. They're not even technical questions with engineers who just asking me about my personality and my interests, and they reject me. They don't even
I,
put me in
Sarah, I
that.
have a quick question. In these interviews, do they ever ask you Star Trek or Star Wars? Okay, I was just curious
Dude,
because
I fucking hate that shit. I hate when I'm like in an interview and they try to hit me with some cutesy shit like that. It's like,
yeah,
no, don't try to endear this fucking company to me. Just tell me how much money I'm going to get paid, and then ask me why I think I'm qualified to do this job. Don't
yeah,
try
it
to.
doesn't fucking matter. Like, how about you ask me like my morning routine? Like, I get up and
No,
I go
don't
to
even ask.
work.
Don't. I don't want you to know a fucking thing about my life.
Yeah,
Just ask me
Oh,
like what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses.
how much dick do you suck every day? You know what I mean? Like, I just do not care what they think about my personality. I want,
right.
you know
Yeah, I
what
Yeah,
I
don't.
it's actually more to the point than dating. It's like, yo, how tall are you? How big is your penis? How much are you doing? You know, I'm like, I just don't give a shit what they think about my personality. I want them to hire me so I can make money. And then
right.
and they treat it like, oh, we a family. Yo, just shut up. My family isn't like this. My family is just as horrible or worse. I don't even know. But the point is, like, I hate it when the company tries to act like your family or your friend.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's awful.
yeah. I hate it when the company asks me how big my penis is.
Yeah, it's really none of their business.
A scientific question. You have to ask what state are you asking about? You know, that shows your intelligence. When you respond to their question with another question, you display your intelligence, you know.
Yeah.
So I just it's like
Yeah, they should just get rid of jobs, to be honest. They
They
shouldn't have
are.
to.
That is what they're
Yeah, yeah, that's
doing.
right.
the new world order is here.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I wonder like how.
Yeah, I don't believe in all of that. Like, I don't think it's like calculated as much as people think it is, but I think it's kind of real.
That's
Oh,
what I've
yeah.
wondered. Is it how calculated is it, or do they do the movers and shakers, the people who make these decisions, do they not know like that they are creating a world where they're in it? Like it seems like with the way things are going, they're going to create the thing they claim to hate, which is like a situation where some sort of like out of for lack of a better word, some sort of socialism has to be implemented because if you automate everything, if you like
No more jobs.
automate everyone out of a job,
Yeah,
then
it
you
forces
Right.
everyone to get like a UBI.
yeah, you
Right.
create an untenable situation where either you like provide people their basic needs, or there's like I don't know, blood in the streets.
Well, I would argue that it's not something that they don't want. I think that's actually by design something that they would want, is that they would want something that was more socialized, where like the government is like top down, has everything in charge, where you can't even make like a withdraw your bank without me doing like paperwork or something. I think that's
Yeah,
exactly what they want.
I think it might be a situation where like Elon Musk doesn't want the government to take care of you. He wants to take care of you. He wants to be the one that gets to make the decisions
Right.
of how your
Like
life
the
is.
autocrat, right? The thing is, you know what's weird is on LinkedIn, that's a professional networking social media site.
Yeah.
It has the same kind of shit that I've seen at airports to verify your identity. It has like some kind of thing where it's like verify your identity using XYZ. And that thing it's called Clear. And it's at airports. And I signed up for it years ago. I used to have Clear because I used to be a jet setter. But the
Yeah.
thing is like I used to have Clear so I could just get through the line. And now Clear is part of LinkedIn. I'm like, no way in hell. I'll sooner get Clear to get through airports than verify my identity to be on a social media website with other horrible white collar professionals. I
That is
hate
really weird.
class. It's so weird. It's like verify your identity with Clear. Like show that you're
Huh.
really you know what's happening now is I get spammed by all these bots who want my resume so that they can pretend they're me and apply to jobs.
Nice. Oh yeah,
They gonna get you
I'm
anything?
convinced most job boards are just different, like a bunch of different bots all talking to each other. And then like when you as a person go on Indeed, you don't realize like you're joining in a conversation between
With bots, right?
yeah, yeah, just a bunch of different bots all pinging around each other, and then you're like, why is nobody reaching back out to me? And it's like, oh, none of these jobs actually exist. These are
Are
just
saying. It's SEO, man. I mean, the funny thing too is SEO is about to die. Give it another 6 months.
Yeah.
Because AI is like cannibalizing
it's
SEO.
so frustrating. Like if they can fix the AI to where it actually works, then great. But I hate that I go into Google now and I try to search like I search something, but it wants to do this AI fucking bullshit, and I'm like, dog, I'm just trying to see some titties. Don't fucking show me your like a summary of titties.
It's like writing a poem for you first.
Yeah, it gives you. I don't like Google is like so broken now. Like if you try to search for anything, the first thing it's going to do for you is give you an AI generated summary of the thing you searched. I'm like, I wanted the
Oh
fucking
yeah.
the
That's
website.
hilarious. So you're
Yeah,
typing in like porn like video ideas into Google and it's just like, actually, yes. Blah 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 blah.
yeah. You're typing in Angela White and it's giving you her life story, and I'm like,
That's
no, I want
so
to see Angela
funny.
White's
It just
titties.
depresses you while
Yeah.
you're reading. Well, fuck. Now I can't go and jerk off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, I don't even like porn. It's kind of weird. I like anti-porn, but pro-sex. I'm like, I hate porn.
Wait, what? Never mind. Your mic sucks. I forget.
Sorry, sorry. I'm not talking in a hushed tone too. I mean, I like Jordan Peterson. Don't tell anybody, but
Don't
I
tell.
love like I think he's cool and he hates porn. Well, I don't know if he hates porn, but he would hate porn.
I
I
think
think Jordan. Yeah, I can see Jordan Peterson not liking porn.
I think he's probably anti-porn. You trying to show us that those tarot cards?
Hell yeah.
I
Sarah's
you know
in Sarah's in line with Satan.
Dude, speaking
I,
of, I've been watching that.
I got into something called cardomancy or cardology.
Cardomancy, nice.
Is that? I think that's that's like what Gambit does from the X-Men.
What that is?
Yeah, that's Gambit's superpower.
It's
He's
like
or
I didn't
that's
know
his
that.
weapon of choice. He can transfer kinetic energy to inanimate objects,
Oh, that's
Yeah.
not what that is. The
but he
cardo.
uses cards.
It'd be
That's
cool if it
his.
was though.
I'm
That's all
trying
I'm
to.
saying.
Okay, listen to this shit. So they believe that cardomancy is like a kind of like magic or like superstitious mystical thing based on the card deck playing cards. They believe it was invented in Atlantis.
Okay.
52 cards like this, 52 weeks. There's
Oh.
day and there's night. And it's a highly numerical type of fucking witchcraft, man.
You gotta be a math
Yeah.
nerd to do this
Well,
magic.
somebody used it on me recently because I lost like 2 grand at the casino.
You
So
were talking about trying to buy your family a house a year ago. What happened to that energy? I was thinking about that.
I'm still doing that. I'm still
He's
gonna
gonna
buy
do it. He's on the
my
right
house. I
path.
just you hit speed bumps. There's ebbs and flows,
You buy
and
one or two Chinese penny stocks that go under. You gotta wait a little bit.
oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
trade. Yeah, I'm close to figuring out trading. Like I learned the hard way with trading and lost a ton of money at first. Now I'm getting better about bet small, lose small. Like I go in 100.
You know
on
what I
a
do? I traded too fast. Back then I was trying to do stocks. I traded so fast I'd get like stopped. If you
yeah.
bought that, you can't keep selling it. And I was like, but it
You
went up.
can't you can do that if you have a ton of money because you have to have if you just have like a Robinhood account, you have
I
yeah. Every brokerage is subject to the same FINRA regulation where you have to have at least $25,000 in your portfolio to day trade, to buy and sell a stock the same day. So if you that's how a lot of people trade that way, but you got to have a lot of money to do it. So if you're just like people like us,
Yeah,
you
that's
have
why
you
I
like
was
if
just
you
gonna say that's
buy
what. Oh god.
no, I'm saying yeah, I was gonna say if you buy a stock without meeting that criteria, if you don't have 25 grand in your portfolio, you have to wait at least a day to sell it without them like flagging that.
And that's why it's kind of like a shitty deal to try to like follow what's her name? Nancy Pelosi's stock tips or whatever, because like if you don't have like 10 to like 100 grand to like make sure you're covering like all the day trades that her account's doing on top of covering all of the capital gains taxes that are eating up your profits, you're fucked completely. Like you could actually owe money if you did that like without having a certain amount of money invested into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I'm just trying to stay stupid. I'm trying to do cards and just
Hell
like
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, make no mistake, day traders, like people that trade are stupid.
Oh yeah.
They just figured out this like one thing that turns
oh,
out makes more money than everything else.
GameStop
Yeah.
though. GameStop.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
The GameStop thing was like an anomaly that had never happened before, and then
My
there.
friend had a bunch of money he had in that and he lost it all. Like he could have had like 200 something $1,000 he could have cashed out and then it went all away. It
Yeah,
Do you
was
know,
it was the world's biggest pump and dump, basically, is what happened.
Sarah, do
Because
you know Tim Butterly, the comic?
no, who's that?
He has like a podcast called Dad Meat with like Mike Rainey, and he has like his own show called like the Tim Butterly Show and stuff like that. He's a really funny comic, Philly based, I think, maybe New York now.
I
But
like comics are funny, man.
what's that?
Shane Gillis, like Philly comics are funny.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. And Tim's a great guy,
yeah,
it
he's
seems.
part of the Shane Gillis extended universe.
Yeah, yes. Just like the MCU, DCEU. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a ton of people in Philly that are branches of Shane Gillis.
But
Funny as fuck. You guys have seen his sketches on YouTube?
Yeah, of
oh
course.
yeah, yeah. I love Gillian Keeves, yeah.
Alien Keys is so fucking funny. OnlyFans dad. I'm making a sketch
Yeah.
like that soon. I'm making something called Farm to Table OnlyFans Family Restaurant.
Oh hell yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Farm to table.
Butterly was in a couple of those sketches.
Oh yeah. He was
Yeah,
definitely in like the uncle one, right?
he was in the Uncle Daycare sketch.
Yeah.
It's a funny sketch, man.
Yeah. No, the I think my favorite one is the cop who's sleepwalking.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh
That's
yeah.
That's so funny,
the best
dude.
performance. That's his
Yeah.
best. That's his best
That's
performance.
so
That's
good.
SNL worthy, intelligent performance. It's so.
Yeah.
And I watch
So
relax. It's so funny. Like nothing is funnier than those sketches. Like if
Yeah.
SNL, it's funny that they didn't want him, and it's funny because it's like his arc, and he deserves a lot. Like he's a very funny person, but the fucking shit is like SNL nexted him, and then he started producing sketches way better than anything SNL was doing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that was great. I that it was such a in a way like maybe subconscious, maybe conscious to a degree, like fuck you to SNL. Like it's such a it was so cool to see. And it was just really funny being like, you could have had at least like even like 10% of this had you kept Shane, but you guys just all fucked it up.
I refuse to celebrate anyone's success until I'm successful. So fuck all these
Well, that's
people, dude.
nice. That's very nice.
Yeah, dude, fuck these people until I'm doing okay.
uh,
Then I'll celebrate them and
this
bet
is
go on their
this is my
shows.
theory. This is my theory about Drew saying don't give Lewis money. I think it's like once he reaches like Lewis level money wise, he's gonna be like, go to Skankfest. Go ahead. Who gives a shit?
Yeah,
Paying the
yeah.
gas.
There's a certain level of success where you're like just
Unbittered.
cool with everybody, but like before then, you're like, I refuse to laud anyone because I need to be successful.
You know what's funny
Yeah.
though is I know that actually the way the world works no offense, has nothing to do with cards or tarot or anything.
Of
It's just
course.
the more generous you are, the more you get back.
That's what God says, Dalton. That's what God says. I'm just saying.
No, yeah, I guess that's true. Damn.
I
So
had
wait,
my
what did Butterly do? You talking about his AMC
yeah.
tirades?
What?
Oh, I mentioned Butter. I now forgot why I mentioned Butterly. There was
Because
a
I
very
saw that
specific reason.
he gets lit up because he tweeted something about all the like how people are how it's stupid to still be in on AMC.
Oh, okay. That's actually what I was gonna bring up. So we were talking about GameStop dying and stuff like that. Tim Butterly, he put like thousands upon thousands of dollars into AMC when that thing was going, and now he's stuck. He's just like stuck holding on to that
Oh,
money.
dog, I know that feeling. Not with that stock, but I got like so many where I just was like, I don't know why I didn't sell, and now I'm just like sitting there like, well, there's not even any point in selling right now because it's so fucking, it's so far down. Like
Yeah.
it's so the loss is so big that there's not even any reason to sell at this point. I might as well just wait to see if something happens.
Dude, I've sold when I've been like super down on something, and you feel like just a complete asshole.
You feel so bad. It's
Yeah.
like such a painful thing to try and get good at because you're just hemorrhaging money, and then like once you start to kind of figure it out, you get these like small gains back. Like once you understand how to actually trade a little bit,
Yeah.
where you're like, oh nice, I made $100. I'm still down thousands of dollars.
No, but
Yeah.
I think is options are the right way to do shit, right?
No, well, options are more in line with just like straight up gambling. Like you could options are more risky, and you could.
So to be frank, I bought these cards because I was trying to learn how to play poker. Did you know I interacted with a comedian on Instagram who didn't reveal his identity? And he told me that he learned how to play poker and he makes money playing poker and then just writes comedy for fun.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, there's people that make money playing poker. That's like every man's fantasy.
I
Poker.
learned how to play blackjack really well. Like I haven't like gone to like a table or anything, but I've made like $100 million just fucking around online.
Really? But my friend told me blackjack is actually how you make real money because blackjack's easier than poker.
Blackjack is kind of easy. Like, well, here's the thing. It's really daunting at first because like the way I did it was as I really wanted to learn how to play it. So I learned like every single hand, how to like how you should react like when you get certain hands. I learned like the entire board. And that's like basically step one to even getting like to 45% against the house in your favor. After that, it's really like card counting is what's supposed to help you with the other
Right,
which
so
I'm
I
terrible at. Yeah.
do that. I mean, I just think I also have a good poker face. Like I'd act like I was losing. I'd be like, oh no. And then my poker
Well,
face, like, oh, and it's like I'm actually winning.
Yeah, I say relent to the whims of fate and hit the slot machines. Just
yeah.
fucking start slapping max bet on
Yeah, but
slot.
you know what you want to do though? You want to wait for the old ladies to leave the machine. Then once they're gone, just a few more spins. And you
Yeah,
got like a yep. They've been at that
yeah.
thing for hours.
Dude, every time I go to the casino, there's some slot machines I understand where I'm like, oh, the max bet on this is like $9. But then there's like these like fucking it's usually like the Chinese themed ones where it's like Fudan Dynasty or something where it's
Dalton,
like
you got to stay away from the
I
Chinese.
gotta stay away from the Chinese, but it'll be like select your denomination and then select your like multiplier or whatever. And I don't know what I don't know like what I'm looking at because it converts everything to credits instead of money. And so I'll make a bet and I'm thinking that it's gonna be like a few dollars. I'm like, well, that was $40. That was a $40 spin on that one. And then I look, you know, and I just lose $40 right there. But hey,
Yeah, man. How many
hey, that's
so what happened? You were just like there was one night where you were like the stocks aren't exciting enough. I'm gonna go down to the
well,
casino and
I got hooked on those that YouTuber Vegas Matt, and I was like,
yes.
I think this is a viable way to like
I
make
Sarah,
money.
Sarah, I would really hope you should go and watch. I forgot what episode it is, but there's an episode where it's Dalton and Drew Flores watching Vegas Matt, and I've never seen more scary look on two people's faces in my life because it's
Dude,
just pure greed and envy, like on both of their faces the entire time they're watching this video. I was like, damn,
dude,
dude, they
the
got to stop
demon
watching
possessed
this.
us. We were
Yeah.
watching those videos, just
Or I said, who the hell
drooling.
is Flores? It's such a weird name. It's like Jake Flores, like Drew.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah, I
no,
know, I know. I wondered if he was Jake's brother for a while there.
I'm friends
no,
with Jake. I like Jake.
Oh, okay.
I am not friends with Jake.
Dalton's definitely not friends with Jake. And I'm more
Huh,
of a
I
a
found it.
hater from like the outside.
I don't know Jake really. Like he's just podcasted with me a few times. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
really know.
Oh,
He's not
he
really my friend, but like I've dealt with people in his universe, you know?
Yeah.
And to me, Jake is like a casual acquaintance who's nice to talk to. And like I don't really know him. Like I don't know him at all. Like I don't have a personal relationship with him, but he's a nice
He
guy
just annoys me on Twitter. That's all I know about him. Dalton has more of a
on
personal.
Twitter. It's a horrible medium. Some people need to shut up
Oh,
and
sure.
he needs to
Yeah.
show up but I don't know him that well. I've met him a couple times. I've met him in person a few times,
Well, you guys are
and
sworn enemies now.
I guess so, yeah. Because I mean, there was a time when he was friends with everybody, and then something happened to him where he just like started losing his mind, and everyone he was friends with is
no, I know. I heard about that, but the thing is, like, I always kind of have a little bit of a suspicion when people turn on a guy that they used to be friends with. I'm like,
no,
mm,
he turned on them. The story is that like it seems like he got wrapped up in this like
Socialist thing.
socialist fucking what is it, the fucking what's
He's
it
just
called?
in like the socialist political sphere thing.
Oh yeah, I
He
don't
just got
know.
sucked up
And
into
so
that.
he started like turning on people because like there was never anybody that through all where it seemed like they were not willing to meet him halfway on things.
I see.
But he kept being like very nasty to everyone to the point where they were like, "All right, man, like do whatever you gotta do."
It was
Well,
pretty funny recently. He made a funny joke on Twitter, and Dalton was just like, "Hey, Jake, pretty good." And then
And then
Jake
he got
retweets
mad
it.
about that.
He retweets it. He's just like, "Oh, great! The least funny comedian in the world thinks I made a funny joke." It's like, okay, all right, tough guy,
He's very rude, very nasty. He's a nasty man.
nasty man.
nasty,
Yep,
nasty,
absolutely.
nasty man. Like, it's funny. Well, like I like a really emotional guy. It's kind of like a girl. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm feeling your feelings. I just don't.
Yeah.
Like he's really emotional, right? I just the way I perceive him is that he has a lot of feelings. I really don't.
It probably takes a lot of feelings to eat like a cum cookie, I would imagine. I think you have to have a
That
lot of feelings
yeah,
to do that.
Yeah, I don't like that. It's so gross.
yeah, we all know way too much about that guy's
It,
sex life. I
I
don't
yeah,
know,
like
and isn't that embarrassing? No, no, the thing is like why should he give a shit? All his shit is
sure.
public. You know what I mean? Like at this point, he's fully female. Sorry.
I think a lot of people would agree with you on
You know what I
that.
mean?
Yeah.
Like I just think that he's just an emotional person and he has like he means well. And this is what I like about him is he means well. But he's crazy, dude. I cannot believe he's like the least funniest comedian about Dalton.
And then you watch his stand up lately, and it's not, there's no jokes.
Yeah,
There's no punchlines, there's no jokes. He's just like, oh, isn't it crazy that like I met a Chinese guy in Chinatown? Like,
he
it's
doesn't.
like,
Yeah,
what the fuck are you doing?
you would not suspect that he's been doing comedy for like almost 20 years based on his stand up that I've seen.
So it's like when he says things like that, it's like, okay, all right. I don't know, man. I've seen your work lately.
Yeah, but hey, you know what I say? Live and let live. Salute, Bon
Yes.
Fortuna.
And you know
But
what? If Jake finds a lot of success in the future, I'm going to say, good job, Jake.
yeah, I don't want anyone to not be successful. Like I don't, I think we should all be getting money. It's just that he even demonizes, like he vilifies money itself, and I'm like, well, you're kind of like in the wrong
It's not
person.
even a broke person hates money. I'm like,
It's pretty rough.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm like you're kind of in the like pursuing the wrong things then, because as much as we all want to
I know financial situation. I don't want to speak about his money, but the fact is like, you really cannot hate money because money helps things happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You kind of have to. You kind of have to like understand that if you're trying to be an artist or whatever it is, it's all there's also like I do want to make a lot of money doing this. I don't.
Yeah, wouldn't it be cool if you made something and then like you could actually eat food with it? That would be
Yeah,
cool. Yeah.
yeah. Like I do podcasting and I make money doing it. And that's cool. And I want to make
Yeah.
more money doing it. Like, I don't. I'm over that mentality of like, oh, I do it for the. I would do it.
If you hate it
I
so
would
much,
those
Jake.
people that are like already rich and they're like, I would do it for free, and I'm like, no, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
Fuck, no, you fucking wouldn't.
Then why didn't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I, I think that is a cool situation. You could get so rich you could do shit for free.
Yeah. That is
yeah,
nice.
yeah. No, I understand being
I like
rich.
help someone for free.
Yeah, I understand being rich and taking a gig that like doing something for free just as a favor or charity or whatever. But when they talk about like I would be doing this anyway, I'm like, no. About a decade in with no money, you would start like really trying to figure out what to do. You'd be like, oh,
Yeah.
I gotta like turn this into something,
Yeah.
or you would just stop doing it. The people that like keep doing the same thing over and over again, like these open micers and in any creative endeavor where they're like a decade plus into it, still making no money, like $0. I
Dude,
truly am wondering, like, what the fuck is your goal? Like, what do you
you know
do?
what? Drew, I don't remember. Thank God I don't remember the name of the comic so I don't have to say it. But Drew was telling me that there was this one comedian who always shows up to these open mics, doesn't get like a chuckle out of anyone. And he's like apparently been doing these open mics for like 15 years or something like
Oh,
that.
I think his name is Alex Davenport.
That might be right. Yeah. And so like it's just like if that happened, if I were like 3 years into a stand-up career or like an open mic situation, and I was literally getting not even a like splattering of laughs every once in a while, I'd be like, perhaps it's not for me. Perhaps
Yeah,
it's like, yeah, the one thing I probably shouldn't be doing.
yeah,
I always look at it like an ecosystem thing. I just am like, these not funny producer comics or these not funny stand-up people are like kind of part of the system. And like that's how we can keep going because they're not funny and they like to try to do comedy. And so then they produce it sometimes. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I just think they're part of the ecosystem, you know what I mean? And the thing with Jake is he is funny. I've seen him do stand up and do really well. Like
Yeah.
I will, I mean, that's actually I know Jake because I saw Jake on a show in Brooklyn like a few years ago. I went to this show, it's in Bushwick. It was off the Jefferson L, and he killed. He was really freaking
Yeah.
like really charismatic on stage, very freaking funny. And like the Twitter really does diminish him. He should not be on it because he's funnier than any of that. Like
So Sarah, like what you're talking about, well, what
I
you're talking, sorry.
sorry.
So about what you were saying though, like about it being like a few years ago, that is, I think, have you seen him live like in the last couple years?
Oh,
Okay. Because like from what I've understood, I haven't seen what?
he moved out to LA. I've not been around there.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Yeah, he's in LA now. Well, like from what I understand, the shift happened like within these last couple years where like his stand-up became like I don't know what it became. It just like it became rants, I guess. From and
yeah.
that's just
He used to be very funny, and somehow
yeah.
he's gotten worse.
Well,
He's
he's not from what I've seen on video, he'll post videos himself. And you would think that the videos from your stand-up that you're posting would be like, oh, this was like a really funny joke I told or something on stage and it killed or something. These videos he'll post are like political rants or like they're like, hey, isn't it crazy? New York City, it's a crazy city. There's nothing going on like that would
Oh yeah,
like
but I mean, he's not the only. There's a lot of people where they'll post like stand-up clips. I'm like, you thought this was something people needed to see? I'm like,
yeah.
this is fucking terrible, dude.
Well, some people are better talking heads than they are comedians, and I
Yeah.
think he's kind of that type. He's a political thinker actually more so than he's
Yeah.
I haven't seen him do comedy in several years. I thought he was hilarious back in 2018
Yeah.
or 2019. And he's been on my podcast one time. And Jake Flores episode, check it out. It's kind of good. It was one of my favorite episodes, actually. I filmed it at a hotel, and I was
All
like walking
right.
around the hotel with him on the Zoom. It was kind of crazy. He was like, "I'm glad your podcast is this relaxed." Like we had a really good time. And like the funny thing is like I don't know. I think he's just really a political thinker, basically.
Hmm.
No, and there is something to that where like I'll find out about a comedian from a podcast. I'm like, oh, they were like they're such a good podcast guest and they're so funny on this podcast. Then I'll check out their stand up and it's the worst thing I've ever seen, like ever.
My
Yeah,
favorite
man.
comics, one of my favorite comics. I like his podcast more than his stand-up, Tim Dillon.
Oh, Tim Dillon? Yeah.
He's one of my favorite comedians, actually. I think he's really fucking genius.
Tim Dillon's special was weirdly very bad
Yeah.
because live he is actually very good at stand up.
I
Well,
don't doubt it.
funny. I mean, he's a funny person. I bet you live he's hilarious, but the thing is, the special was so canned, kind of, right? That
It
is
was
kind
the special was like a disaster to the point where he fired his producer over it because
Yeah.
Ben was the one that I think directed it,
Directed it.
I'm
and I
sad
that
about that. Did you know that I listened to the Patreon episode that got deleted that he was
I've listened to that fight so many times. It's so funny how
I
fucking like petty Tim
I
is during
listened
that whole thing.
I listened to his episode with Ray Kump that he deleted like an hour after he posted it. I heard the whole thing.
Oh,
yeah
were they bashing
I
Ben?
don't know, like I don't want to speak because I kind of know Ben a little bit,
It's
and
not
Robbie knows Ben more than I do, but so I don't want to speak out of school, but it to put the pieces together as I see him from the outside, it sounds like Ben directed that special as much as he knew how to direct something,
Yeah.
and it was a staggering failure when it hit Netflix. It was not. It didn't come out good, and people hated it, or they thought it just wasn't that funny.
Well, you know what bothered me about it was it, and I hadn't ever really seen Tim Dillon's like stand up prior to his special, but it made me wonder. I was like, is your stand up thing imitating Trump? Like, is your actual thing like pretending you are Donald Trump on
No, I've
stage?
seen him live. He's very funny live, but yeah, that special didn't come out good, and
Yeah.
I think that was like what led to him
I
cutting ties with Ben.
know, but it made me sad because they were a good friendship.
Yeah.
This
It seemed like it.
They did love each other, like they were friends, and then
Yeah,
Well, Tim was his best man at his wedding. And then like a few months later, he gets canned.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's like something you got to remember with entertainers is there's like a lot of
The
people in.
sociopath.
Yeah, a lot of entertainers are like megalomaniacal narcissists who really have
I
no
I don't
loyalty for
I think
anybody.
Yeah.
I think both of them are probably telling the truth. I just think that he was Tim was probably really mean to him, man.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
He
I
was
would
such
imagine like what we see on camera is like just like a snippet of like what you typically would see.
Yeah, because I mean, you got to think about like the way most people live their lives is like most people are just trying to get a decent job and make like a good hourly wage or
Yeah.
a yearly salary or whatever, and they live very humble dog shit lives. When you're talking about people who are trying to make a lot of money for, I guess, just having thoughts, that's like such a fucking crazy endeavor to
Yeah.
want to be a professional thought haver, uh,
Yeah.
and to demand that you get paid more in a month than most people will make there in the next like 5 years.
Yeah.
That that kind of person is just by nature has to be like insane.
well, yeah, I mean, if you think about any film set, right? Any film director or any filmmaker is like like draconian. Like they're really intense people.
Yeah.
People hate film because filmmakers are aggressive people. They really are aggressive and like to be a comedian and to have a producer, you're gonna bring out your worst self on them because you think they can take it and they know it's worth it. And
Yeah.
so I have a feeling that with that relationship, and I hate to be psychologizing people I do not even know, to be honest with you, but the thing is, like, I just think that he brought out the worst in himself on him. I think because I do think that he's probably a good person. He's nice. Like he has more female friends than men, dude. You know what I mean? Like, and anytime I love Tim Dillon's jokes about women, like anytime he makes a joke about a woman being fat, it's like, you're fat though. You know what I
Yeah,
you know
you're
what
a huge hypocrite. Emphasis on huge.
Exactly. And that is what is
Yeah.
good about it, because I think it is really kind of like when you hear him talk negatively about women who are overweight and he is overweight, you see the whole thing come together like, oh, you kind of critiquing yourself.
Interesting. Yeah.
That's
Hmm.
how I look at it. Like he makes fun of these bitches, these women who go to Disney World.
Yeah.
And they go in to eat at the Disney World and they're like, we fit in the chair. We like the chair,
And
you
of
know?
course, he has to make that seem awful.
I just think he's really smart. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll listen to him. I never not liked his podcast. I listen to every fucking Patreon. I listen to all his episodes. He's so funny.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a funny guy.
He is funny. And I will say though, like, and I don't know
Oh,
what this
Lemon
is.
Party is scary, dude.
I love Lemon
I
Party.
subscribed to Lemon Party once and I was like, this is horrible. This is like degenerate come down. This is like
Yeah, yeah, that's why I love it. You just named exactly why I like that show.
I hate
Hell,
that.
Lemon Party's making really good money now.
Yeah.
Good for him, right? I think he's on to better things, actually. I think it was a good move for him personally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
podcasting is a lot like Bitcoin, where like, yeah, if you didn't get in 10 years ago, you probably it's very unlikely that you'll become a multimillionaire from it, like a lot of people did. But you could still get in right now,
But could you make
and
60K a year?
yeah,
That's all
yeah, you know what I
yeah.
mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could still get in now,
Oh.
and in the next few years make a good chunk of money, but you're
That's
not going to be a billionaire from it.
AKA 40, AKA poverty, man. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
like the money, by the way, it's so funny when I actually my heart gets hurt. I listen to the Manosphere sometimes, and it's like
You shouldn't do that.
telling other men to make $100,000 is like,
Yeah.
I don't
No,
want.
yeah, that's unreasonable. That's like, I was thinking about that with that. They announced that that homosexual man, a fellow, is directing a remake or some reimagining of American Psycho, and I was like, that's gonna be weird because like in 2000 when the first movie came out, that was still just like a very fringe kind of guy, the
Yeah.
yuppie, finance like psychopath guy like Patrick Bateman.
It's gonna be more a commentary on today.
That's like, nowadays there's so much of that kind of guy now. There like either the guy who actually is at that level of success, or the people who buy into that I think most people are going to look at like a modern day Patrick Bateman and be like, yeah, I don't see what's weird about this
Yeah,
guy.
outside of the fact he's killing people, I don't really.
Yeah, he's doing everything he should be doing.
Normal, right? I know, actually. There's so many men who live that life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like this notion that every man should be making at least like 100K a year, that like what you just said, I'm like, you can't you shouldn't tell people, because that's like, I mean, granted, nowadays it's not the money it used to be, but it's still like a very hard to reach goal to get to.
Yeah.
And you're
I
just
it's
creating
what I
this level of despair in a lot of
Well,
people.
TikTok has like coworkers of mine completely maybe they're not brainwashed. I think they're maybe brainwashed, but like they're all like, "Oh, every single woman is only looking for someone who's making six figures, is like 6 foot tall or taller, has like it's like I don't know, dude. Like I think you're looking at TikTok is what the main issue is."
Yeah. By the way, there's a lot of women who will fuck you on a mattress on the floor. So
Exactly.
want to know what shit is crazy about me is that the whole time I lived in the city, I never had a bed frame.
Yeah.
nice. Bushido, Way of the Samurai.
I was like a tatami mat mattress. I just had a bed on the floor because it created more space like vertically and I just liked it. And it was like grounded, you know?
Yeah.
And I
I
just
the one thing
never
that bothers me about like the idea of having a mattress on the ground is like I don't have bugs in my house, but if I did, like it'd be way easier for them to get on me. I'm like, fuck this. I don't even want the chance.
I don't like bugs, but I'm not afraid of them, you know? Like I
Yeah.
probably like kill it actually. Like I've killed a spider recently. It was crazy. This huge spider that came in my house. I was like, wow, like I got it.
Yeah.
But the thing is like I'm not really afraid of bugs. I don't like mattresses. I don't like bed frames because you know what has the bed frame is all the dust and dirt gets under the bed.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And if there's no bed frame, then there's no dust under the bed. or dirt under the bed. So for me, it's just like it was cool,
No, you
man.
just have a like a light square showing whenever you move your mattress, and then everything else is darker around it.
Right. I mean, I it's like cool. It's like a guy like back in the day when I hooked up with a guy, he was like, "That's crazy. You just have a mattress on the ground." I was like,
You should put like katana blades above it.
"Yeah."
That'd be pretty sick.
I don't think that's a bad thing that I have to just say, you know what? I dated a guy who had only a tatami mat.
Who
You know what
what?
tatami mat? It's like a Japanese type mat.
Oh, yeah.
I dated a guy who only slept on that on the ground.
I'm gonna
Hmm.
sleep on only bamboo. See how that goes.
Yeah.
Fix my back issues.
Years, right? Like the point is, money is dumb, and so am I.
Yeah, you need it.
Yeah. No, money's
Yeah.
pretty tight, dude. Ever since I started doing sales and I'm like, I get these commission checks, I'm like,
Yeah.
it's pretty sweet.
Wait, I want to do that job. Somebody told me I should do sales the other day because I like to talk.
No, I think we could all do sales. And I think we should all start a business actually.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have a business.
Let's do a bit. Sarah, hire us. We're gonna
Yeah.
be your salespeople.
Help me generate
It,
income. I'll hire you guys to help me generate income. You can take even 100% commission.
Wow, 100%. Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Sales is cool. Like, you don't have to be like smart or like knowledgeable about even the thing you're selling to be good at sales.
In
Like, the
fact, the
people,
less you know, maybe the better.
yeah, I think so, because there's people on my team that like, if you were to talk to them, you would suspect like, oh, this is like this person's illiterate, like this is a uneducated person.
Turns out he's making 150,000 a
Yeah,
year.
they make more money than I do. Like, they're better, they're crushing it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like these dumbass guys, it's like that's why people hate guys like that. Because it's like there's a whole like YouTube education school for men on how to make $100,000, and the dumbest guy on earth is making $300,000.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
and it's like, why does he get to do that? Oh, because he goes to the gym? You know what I mean? He
Yeah.
works out,
Yeah, he
he's
just has like soft skills basically.
ripped, he's ripped, and that's why people pay him. He's he's nice to people. He remembers their birthday and he goes to the gym and he goes like he picks something up and he puts it down, dude.
Yeah.
Are you saying he gets paid for that?
Also,
Some people do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
also
sales is, it's like, it's kind of difficult to find a sales job that pays you hourly and has a commission structure.
Yeah.
And then the job itself is very difficult. Like, it's very demanding, but it is a job that where there is like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like, a direct correlation between your output, like the work you do, and the money you make. So it's
Yeah,
not like other
you're either
jobs.
making it, yeah, you're either making as much as a bag boy, even less, or you're making that money on commissions.
Yeah, because most jobs you just eat shit day in and day out, and you get paid like $9 an hour or whatever. Whereas like sales, you have your hourly, which is not a lot, but then the more shit you're willing to eat, the more money you make. Like, if you're willing to sit there and take all those calls and go through everything you're supposed to with each one, then at the end of the month you make like an extra $5,000-$6,000, and then keep progressing from there.
Yeah, man, I'm not gonna say your company, obviously. I went to go apply though, recently, and I was on the application page, and I just was staring at 14.50 an hour, and I was like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, well,
Like,
the thing is, if you're only making that much
yeah,
after your training and like your first couple months on the sales floor, if you are only making that much, that means you're not selling anything really, and you're just
yeah,
gonna get fired anyway. So like, that's your base, but the commission is uncapped. So like,
yeah.
I make my actual money in commission.
listen, Dalton, I'd love you to sell me anything. Would sell me some.
Okay.
Dalton, fire up your network and let's get something going.
It's like I heard there's like an interview for salespeople that's like, sell me this pen.
Yeah, it's from Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever do
Just
like
understand.
you ever do that mantra where you're like you're pounding your
Yeah,
chest right before a big sale?
I have watched that scene to get myself hyped
Hell
up.
yeah,
Like,
dude.
yeah,
Really?
this is, yeah, this is just like me. but I'm like working for a fucking.
This is just like
I'm on the lowest rung of a fucking billion-dollar company.
I remember
Working.
I'm just like Matthew McConaughey in the scene.
Yeah, all my coworkers have like fucking GEDs.
uh,
Yeah, but I mean, I don't want to fucking. I don't want
that's
to
the
do.
job you want, like sell me this pen. I'm like, this shit pretty, dude. Like you hear this?
So you would,
honestly, Sarah, if you were selling for Dalton's company, you said this shit blank, that's perfect.
yeah.
This shit's fucking fire. This shit's gonna
I don't
internet
want
the
to.
fucking shit out of your shit.
I definitely don't want to do. I don't want to do this much longer. I do. I don't
Yeah,
enjoy. It's such a like weirdly exhausting job. Like after 8 hours of just sitting at home all day,
yeah.
I am like so fucking tired at the end of the day because each time that phone dings and I gotta talk to another, I never know what I'm gonna get. Some people, very few are
Well, you
pleasant.
know one thing you're gonna get.
Yeah,
The race.
yeah, yeah. I tell you what, man, I definitely can. I can tell how much money someone is willing to spend by how black they sound, for
Yeah.
sure.
What are you talking about?
Oh, I'm
Oh no.
dog. I get that sounds fucked up, but if I get a phone call,
I'm
if I
saying
get a phone call from somebody and the first thing I hear is yeah,
Chirp,
and
chirp,
then the
chirp.
smoke alarm chirps, I'm like, say no more. You're looking for the closest thing to $0 that we have.
Do they ever surprise you though? Like you hear the chirping of like a smoke alarm, and it's like, can you give me like your premium tier of like everything you
Every
have?
now and then, like I'll pitch someone like that, like a big package, and they go, "Yeah, sounds good," and I go, "Really?" I was just lobbing a hail mary because more often than not, like those when I get a call like that, it's like you can look, you can hear when someone's black, obviously.
Sure, sure.
So you be that the smoke alarm's chirping. There's like a litter of children in the background all screaming at each other, and those conversations, those people are already like,
a litter.
A litter,
this
yeah. They came all at once.
a gaggle. Um,
She had
those
23 children all in one
yeah
go.
those
Yeah.
those kinds of calls. Those people are living each second of their lives redlining. Like their
Yeah.
lives are so like chaotic and
Yeah.
terrible that
Also,
they're always angry and frustrated just about everything. So those conversations, like if I try to sell them anything, they get mad. They're like almost they cop this attitude where they're like, "The fuck did I say? All right, I'm not. I'm looking for the cheapest thing possible."
The fuck did I say?
one
Yo,
of my
Yeah.
favorite one of my favorite stories from Dalton in regard to his job is he was like, "Oh, they were like about to make a sale on something," and she was just like, "Oh fuck, I actually don't think I have any money on my card." And he was like, "Perhaps your daughter has a card that you could use that she has money on."
Oh
She's like, "Oh, let
yeah.
me check," and then like they just got
Yeah, I
it
pulled
going.
that. I pulled that a few times where I'm like, "Well, does anyone around you have money?"
Hell yeah,
yeah, you selling, you know what I mean? You gotta do
you're
what you gotta
selling.
It's a very like it's a job where you do have to have integrity, like some scruples, because you can't just like scam people or do things that are illegal. But it is a job where you're encouraged to kind of set aside anything that you would have in you that would want to protect someone from them
hurting.
spending money they don't have.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, dog, I'm
So
just
it's
trying to
not
get the sale here. If you
it's not a
can't,
complete lack of scruples.
yeah, it's like it's not on me if you can't. I pitched it to you. I told you how much it costs. If
Yeah,
you want to get it, it's not on me if you cannot afford this
Right.
bill.
You want a consenter, you're not, you an adult, I'm an adult, right?
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of think that about sales is like, I didn't force you to sign the contract.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, yeah. Like there were a number of safeguards in place that there were so many times along the way that you could have not done this, but you went ahead and did it anyway. It's off my back at that point.
Yeah.
I
I got the
agree.
commission. You,
You were dumb enough to take your daughter's card.
yeah, your
Yeah.
credit is going to be ruined in 6 months. Yeah, because you definitely cannot afford this.
uh,
Yeah.
Right. You're gonna learn a lesson how you're gonna get it. Like, did you guys know I declared bankruptcy back during COVID?
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah, you were telling me about that.
I declared bankruptcy because I was in debt. I was in consumer credit debt.
Yeah. You don't
This
necessarily, I mean, you could declare bankruptcy or you could just wait 7 years.
You know,
exactly.
they say that I've had this fucking delinquent thing on my record for like I want to say more than 10 years. So I don't know if
Oh,
that's right. I have heard that. That's why I didn't pay anything on
I
those.
don't know.
Yeah.
But the point is like I was like, listen, if Donald Trump did it, I'll do it. Like
Yeah.
like it's a mechanism. Like I was broke drinking alcohol at 10 a.m. 2020 during COVID or something, and I was like, yo, fuck it, get rid of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think bankruptcy is also one of those things where it's one of those things that people with not a lot of money and people with a lot of money both do.
Yeah.
But when you don't have a lot of money, it's
Not so
not. I think bankruptcy is like structured so that when you're extremely wealthy, it's actually like beneficial for you. It actually does help. And like Trump can file for bankruptcy 3, 4, or 5 times, and it just helps his businesses. Whereas like if you are just a person and file personal bankruptcy, that just fucks
hard.
up the next like 5 years of your life.
Has kind of impeded some of my work. Like, what's nuts is like as I was making this software engineering money, like over six figures at 23 plus for 8 years longer. Like I was making a lot of money. I probably earned over $1 million in my 20s. And I was living in the city, right? So it goes out. I was getting Ubers to get safely home late at night. It costs $100 sometimes.
Yeah.
The thing is that money just left, and the price of an apartment was so high. So I was like, am I going to buy a house in the next 7 years? No. I have no family. I'm not married. I'm not going to buy a house. Let me do this now. And it was like every month I watched that credit card bill get higher because they raised my consumer credit. That's a horrible shit about credit card companies is they raise your limit without even asking for your consent. I had over $100,000 in consumer credit
Wow.
available.
Wow.
And my shit was like probably only $30,000 of debt that ballooned to like 60. And I was like, I'm I have no job. I just declared bankruptcy. And actually I think it was one of the smartest things I've done. When I look really back and I look at that decision, it's like I'm 3 more years until I'm past the 7 years post bankruptcy, and then I'll buy a house. I can already get a mortgage, by the way. I was approved for an 800 fucking $1,000 mortgage a year ago. And I
With
just,
with no job?
well, I had a job like it's 2 years ago now, actually.
Oh,
2 years ago, I was approved for an $800,000 mortgage.
that's cool.
It's too high. I would never even want to spend that on a house. I should buy
Right.
a house of 400 or less. But the
I
thing is,
probably couldn't get approved for a Toyota.
with a bankruptcy in my history in the last 4 years, I got approved for $800,000 of debt. Isn't that
Wow.
crazy?
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
mean, the housing market it does not have a good history of
No.
being discerning when it comes to who they approve for mortgages.
The banks don't give a shit who owes the
No.
money.
Yeah,
The bank is a mortgage. It's the bank. It's different than the housing industry. It's like the bank said, take out an $800,000 loan.
yeah, because
They stand to make a lot. Yeah.
that's what upended the entire housing market was they were just giving out
Yeah.
loans to everybody, and then nobody could pay their mortgages.
Right. And it's that I know that thank God I'm living at my family's house right now. I have no rent. But the point is, I want to buy a house because I'm so sick of carrying so much, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what my goal. I guess my goal is just first get rich and then go from there.
Yeah.
I know.
Secure the bag.
Yeah.
Do what?
Stop going to the casino and gambling.
Oh yeah, I'm not doing that. No, I got Robinhood on my phone. I don't need to
Yeah,
do that.
he's got like sensible investments.
Yeah, I'm invested in Tantech Holdings from Xinjiang province or wherever.
Yeah.
Which I might be right. Hey, look, this is not financial advice, but I might be right about that. That this news just came out that the Chinese government is injecting like billions of dollars into their central banks.
But who
So a
made
lot of
that
these,
news, Dalton? Who made that news? Was it the Chinese? That's what I'm saying.
well, yeah, it's because it's from China,
Yeah. So you're getting
but
communist news.
Chinese stocks
Who do you
are
guys
starting to kind of run.
Hmm.
think is gonna win? Kamala or Trump?
Oh, it's anybody's game at this point. I don't know.
I have this feeling that Trump's gonna pull out at the end. He's already kind of switching things over. He's
I
getting quite a bit of a lead.
I don't. I mean, I don't see how. Honestly, I don't see how Kamala could win. Like she's bungled the administration she's part of,
Yeah.
and now as like the prospective candidate or nominee or I don't know
Yeah.
whatever I don't know politics that well.
No, you're right. She's like the nominee.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She has like not won any favor with anybody other than with anything other than just being like a woman and a Democrat.
Well,
It's
so
about like where any goodwill that anyone has toward her or any like
yeah.
endorsements that people have begin and end because it doesn't seem like anyone actually likes anything she's done or is doing.
Well, it kind of doesn't help that your history is awful. And I don't even mean politically. I mean
Yeah,
like
because
as a lawyer, like
they're
she has
running
like a horrendous history.
they're running like this playbook of that she's just not Donald Trump.
Right.
And so that's what
Right.
they're running her on. But other than that, she completely has like lost a lot of favor. She's lost favor with everybody, especially like you know the South is not going to forget that that administration did not really do much to help anyone when like every small town in Appalachia got destroyed.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, did you
So
hear that they were all sent electric saws? And it's like they don't have power.
yeah,
What are you guys doing? Yeah.
yeah, like the South got destroyed by these hurricanes, and the government was like, "Well, let's just go ahead and send it like $8 billion to Israel."
Yeah.
And the whole Israel thing is not looking good for her. And so I think there's more people who,
It's really bad, honestly.
What's that?
yeah,
I'm saying this as a half German. I have a German passport.
Yeah.
I was like, bruh, we can't recreate Germany, Nazi Germany, and Israel on the Palestinians. Like, we
yeah,
gotta slow it down. Like, the Israeli government is crazy, man. Like, they
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
harvest the organs of the Palestinians, dude. They are really crazy what they do.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
this is what Dune is all about. This is actually what happens in Dune is that you've got this group of people who have been oppressed and subjugated to so much death and torture for however many years, and then when they finally get a leg up, they start enacting their revenge against everyone, and it becomes like worse than anything that was done to them, where they're just like slaughtering all these people, and it's like, oh, we're not any like this isn't like any good,
Yeah.
you know.
But
That's
with
the
impunity, right?
do what?
With impunity.
Yeah,
Slaughter, you know?
yeah, because that's actually the sort of moral conundrum that the Muad'Dib addresses in the second book, where he's like talking to one of his advisors, and he's like, "You ever heard of a guy named Hitler?" And they're like, "From the before times or whatever language
That's
they use."
actually a thing in that book.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, he's
funny.
because he's like he's leading this like great um jihad on the galaxy. This the Freemen now are going to claim their stake their claim after all these years of abuse at the hands of everyone. And he realizes like they're just killing all these people and it's weighing on him. And he's like, "Yeah, you
Is
ever heard?"
this is this like an Earth world?
No,
How the fuck do they know German history?
they have records,
Okay.
and so he's like, "Yo, you ever hear this guy named Hitler?" And his advisor is like, "No." He's like, "Yeah, he's from the '40s," and our records say he
40s.
killed like 6 million people, and the guy's like, well, that's nothing, Muad'Dib. We've killed like 90 billion, and he goes,
He's from 1940 AD, after death of Jesus Christ, that is.
yeah. So he's basically saying like, we're worse than Hitler, basically, and so it's like this allegory for this, um, for when people seek retribution, how it can continue this like cycle of violence, and
That's what I think, right? I think it's a retribution cycle of violence, right? Because I don't watch the news, but anytime I hear from my friends or I see my friends post something about what's happening there, I'm like, you're doing it again.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're ethnic cleansing the Palestinians. Like you're gonna only you
The-
you hate
it-
Hamas. Hamas is gonna get bigger with this shit. Hamas
yeah,
is
I want.
yeah,
That's where I start getting like galaxy brains. I start looking into the future, like the Muad'Dib. Because when I saw, I don't know if y'all saw that video where they killed the leader of Hamas, that Sinwar guy,
I heard about it.
where he's blown up, he's missing an arm, he's dying,
Yeah, he's not having a good
and
day.
they fly this drone into the building he's in, and he's just like sitting on a couch dying. And he's got one arm, and in this like last just futile gesture, throws a stick at the drone, and then the drone kills him.
Damn.
So
How cool would it have been if he like took out that fucking drone?
that would be cool.
That would have been
But
sick as hell.
the video kind of is like damning for the Israelis as much of their videos that
Wait,
a lot of most things they do.
thing this just came out.
Yeah, this just happened like a day or two ago. But
Yeah.
like it kind of like presents him as a martyr. So I started to wonder like, okay, so obviously what Israel's doing is not chill, is bad.
Yes.
And the favorite right now is Palestine. The Vegas odds are on, or
The Vegas odds are on Palestine
no,
side.
I guess not to win, but
Yeah.
they're like the
Like
underdog.
Palestine, like I mean, plenty of I have a few friends who are Muslim and a few friends in the Middle East, and like I just think that what Israel is doing to them is wrong.
Yeah, but what
Yeah.
I
Well,
wonder about is like when this all shakes out and Palestinians and like the Arab world decides they want to seek some sort of retribution. So now what kind of new horrors are we looking at that are going to be done at the hands of like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
is this like continues? There's going to be this like
Worse. What
desire for Palestine and the Arab world.
bloodlust, like bloodlust, right?
Yeah. To the point where like, however many years, 50, 60 years down the line, it's the same situation again where everybody's like, all right, well, the fucking Palestinians are going nuts right now. We got to do something about this.
So like I think I've told you, Dalton, this, and like I'm gonna tell it to Sarah, and I'm sorry you have to hear this again, but I do have a theory about how all of this has kind of been building towards this. Where so I've read a few books about like the Palestine Israel talks at like Camp David and stuff like that. And like I've also like read a few books about like what happened like during and after 9/11 and things like that. And it seems to me that so right after 9/11 happened, Mossad, which is basically the CIA of Israel, sends over a list of these 7 countries over to the CIA. The CIA give that to Donald Rumsfeld and Karl Grove, or yeah, Karl Grove.
Karl
Or
Rove.
Rove, my bad. And they're like, these are the 7 countries that we would like to say were like the main contributors of 9/11. You can start with any one of them. Just here's the list of 7 countries that we want you guys to take out. And so Rove and Rumsfeld present this list to Bush, and Bush is like, well, we got to go after Iran. Like, we got to go after Iran like right now. And they're like, we can't go after Iran right now because they're like way too powerful. There's way too many like surrounding nations that will help them out, and it'll be like this insane war. So he's like, all right, let's just go after Iraq. We'll start with Iraq, and we'll kind of build from there. And so, like, essentially, the plan has been, and all of those 7 countries are all 7 countries that we've gone to war with in like the last 20 years. Like, we've knocked out all of those countries on that list. And my theory is that this has been Israel's way to finally trample over Palestine without these surrounding. Because if you look at the map, the countries that we took out, those 7 countries, starting with Iraq and Afghanistan, they're surrounding territories that would have had a huge problem with Israel going in and just wiping out Palestine. So my theory is that we took all the resources, we destabilized Afghanistan, Libya, like all these like surrounding countries, just so when Israel finally is able to go and like take over the rest of Palestine, make it one Israel, they're able to do that without any sort of surrounding armies going after them.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
way
you
that's
know,
the way
if
I pieced it
I
together.
would say if I did 9/11, the first thing I would do
If
after
I
Yeah.
did it,
9/11
of
is
course.
tell yeah, the like if I was the country that did 9/11, I think the first thing I would do is tell the US government, "Hey, it's one of these countries actually is the ones that did 9/11."
Yeah, yeah,
And it's, you got to throw them off the scent and be like, "Hey, Israel is cool. We didn't
Everyone,
we did
everyone wants to ignore the dancing Israelis on 9/11, but
Right.
yeah."
They
huh?
were the Israelis were happy that happened. Some
Well, there's videos of dancing Israelis on like the top of rooftops and stuff like, yes, finally, fuck yeah,
Oh,
we
I
did
mean,
it.
there's endless theories that the Jews are the ones that actually did 9/11.
no.
Yeah, and I think it's more convoluted or complicated than that. But
Well,
Yeah.
it's like Occam's razor, you know, that thing is like the simplest answer is the one that's true. It's like I
right.
did us and they killed it. You know what I mean? And like I think the American government is just negligent.
I
Like
say the Jewish answer is the one that's true.
whatever.
Yeah, well, it has to be, or else I'm racist.
And then
Yeah.
came out still beams and I had my laptop stolen from me on September 11th. Isn't that funny?
Wow.
I was
Damn.
like, y'all never forget, never forget. I
Never
was
forget. You're never gonna forget that for sure.
on it. It happened a month ago. And I was like, yo, never forget. September 11th got robbed from me. You know, when I hear the story, it's kind of a funny, it's a good way to like segue out of this heavy conversation because the guy, listen to this shit. So I was on Facebook Marketplace selling my laptop, right? Wholesome.
Yeah.
A girl, 45 minutes east of me was like, could you meet halfway? And I was like, no, I can't meet halfway. And then I said, I'd reimburse you for gas though. If you came here, I would refund you $50, basically. And she said, actually, my uncle lives near you. My uncle could go get the laptop. And I said, okay. And I met the uncle and he pulled up at my door and he was like touching his side. He was like hurt a little bit. I was like, are you hurt? And I knew where my ibuprofen was. It was right in the house. So I was like, do you need water? Do you need ibuprofen? And I knew because I'm a comedian, I know time. I'm like 30 seconds or less. I'll go in, I'll get the ibuprofen, I'll give it to him. And I went in, I got the ibuprofen. I gave him more for the road, even I had in my hand. Ibuprofen for him. And he was gone with my laptop.
Oh man.
Wow.
Yeah.
What
That's
color was he?
yeah.
That's what the police asked me because I had to write the whole police report. And at the end, they were like, could you
All
include
right.
a
Is he more like a mulatto?
he was
we yeah, we have some Pantone swatches we could go over with you. Is he TX079-2 or
it's like I've never been fucked over by black people. So I was like, he's hurt. I'm gonna go get him ibuprofen. You know what I mean? And like, and I came back out, and it was funny. It was like, oh, his car might just be around the corner.
He
And I just started yelling, hello, hello,
was
hello.
probably
And
just
I called
helping someone
911.
out.
I was like, no, I just got robbed.
yeah.
Wow.
They got cased the block probably, you know. He and whoever he was with, they probably like circled the block and parked the car down the street. And he walked away with the laptop, you know.
Damn.
There's been times where like I'll try to sell something on like Facebook Marketplace or something like that. And like someone will seem really interested in like what I'm selling. I'm just like, oh yeah, here's my address. Come pick it up. No problem. And then they won't hit me back. And I've been tempted to hit them back with like, I have guns. Like don't like try anything. Like just because now you have my address.
Yeah.
Right? The funny thing is, in Brooklyn, I never got fucked over. Like, I've never been robbed actually before. And I'm living in like a bucolic suburb. So I treated it like a bucolic suburb. And what did I get? A bucolic.
Yeah. You got white trash. Well, black
Mhm.
trash, really, I guess.
Whoa.
Yeah, well, sorry. Can you edit that out, Sarah? I'm trying to get a big show, actually.
The whole expression white trash is like so racist, right? Because why would you have to say white?
Yeah, that's true. That's fair.
Yeah.
I mean,
True.
I actually do know that about language. I'm like, if you have to say,
Oddly enough,
you know,
I think it's racist towards everyone else. Because you're
it's
just like, oh yeah, but they're white trash.
racism is bad for people. Like I just,
Yeah.
I never, I think my weird, like, I don't know, like Asperger's autism type blessing is I was never racist. I just was like, oh, it's like brown hair, blonde hair, blue eyes, or brown eyes.
Yeah.
I never really thought about skin color like it
I
was
was
a
never racist, so I started doing phone sales. Now I'm like, yo, dog. I'm getting
These
more
N's and
racist.
S's.
Yeah, I'm getting more racist every day.
funny thing is it's like culture is culture, you know what I'm saying? Is so
Yeah.
when there's something you know what the vibe is, you know what I'm saying? So I don't believe in like being racist, but there's differences obviously, but culturally basically. Like because we all know plenty of white people who act black, right?
Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah. I have
Oh,
plenty of wigger friends. Yeah.
I do a very successful podcast with one.
Yeah.
He's saving my life right now.
Crack
Yeah,
amigo. Crack
His name is
amigo, of
Crack
course.
Amico. He's a rapper.
he's
He's one of the
white.
few wiggers I can tolerate.
He's
Yeah.
white.
He's
I
white,
Oh,
yeah.
he's very white. Yeah.
want to meet that guy. Crack him.
Oh yeah, he's
He's a good
great.
guy.
He's very fun. He's very talented. Yeah, he's like he's basically the savior for me and Robbie. Like he would not paint himself that way, but me and Robbie are definitely looking at Crack like, yo,
To be
dog.
fair, I've heard him paint himself that way on the show.
I mean, good because me and Robbie are both looking at Craig like, "Yo, dog, you gotta fucking carry
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
You gotta let us bring us with you as you soar."
If only all three of you were good at rapping.
Crack Miko from?
North
He,
Carolina.
yeah, he's like the rapper for Gas Digital. He's like their mascot now.
How do you know him?
He like a few years ago. This is actually right as like I was starting to decline and I was getting locked up in the hospital. Lewis uh J Gomez of Gas Digital had this public contest to submit to become. I don't really know what the winner got or like what the contest was for
I was in
necessarily,
it.
but it was like they had come up with this character named Crack Amigo because Lewis's co-host is a friend of mine. He's a very funny comedian named Zach Amico, and so they had just come up with the name Crack Amico, and it was like submit to become Crack Amico,
Yeah,
and so whoever Crack was submitted a song and won and became Crack Amico.
I made it into the top four. Not to brag.
Nice.
Yeah.
and and uh and so he was put on the radar of a lot of people as like this funny, talented rapper, and he took on the persona of Crack Amico and has been running with it since then. And so then Crack knew of me because of the appearances I had had on various shows. And so when I started podcasting again, he reached out and was like, "Hey, hey, man, I hope this isn't gay, but I'd love to come on your podcast sometime." I was like, "Oh yeah, of course. It's definitely gay, but yes,
Yeah.
I'd love to have you." And so we hit it off. We had a great episode and had fun doing it, and then we just like kept in communication. And I can't remember like what the like impetus for us doing the show we're doing now. It was just like we were talking about like doing something else. We did a live stream and it went well, and then somehow we brought Robbie into the fold and it just kind of like coalesced into what it is now. But I don't really know. I don't know all the. I'm sure all of this is recorded. I mean, anyone could go back and I guess like piece this together. But it's basically yeah. I like Craig had reached out and then we just kept doing stuff together.
Because I think at that point, Crack wasn't doing his own show, was it? Like he was just recording music and shit like that for
I
like
think he was starting to like dabble with streaming because the conversation that Crack and I, the conversations we've had is like it's like with stand up and music and all that, it's so difficult to get your foot in the door and like get any traction or make any money doing it.
yeah.
And there's like this new venture that exists now, which is live streaming, where you even like aside outside of podcast, like podcasting even is oversaturated. And I guess live streaming certainly is as well, but it's newer.
Yeah.
And so we were talking about like all these people now that are able to do live streaming that are very stupid and not entertaining. That are making like $1 billion a month, like Kai Sanat and ISO Speed and Asmongold and all those. And we were like, we had a conversation where we were like, well, we should be able to make at least like 500 grand doing streaming. Like, there's no reason we can't do this live streaming thing and grow it into something.
Yeah.
And so because he had already was like starting to try it, and so then we started doing it, and that's how we've been doing the show we do together now, the Crowder Boys, ever since.
It's been my dream. Not really my dream. That's a bit of an oversell. It's been something I've really wanted to happen where Steven Crowder somehow finds out that you guys exist.
Well, you know what's funny is he's like disappeared at this point. Like he's like
Oh, is it?
completely. I haven't heard hide nor hair of that guy since that divorce, that like messy public divorce he had.
Oh shit.
So
Oh,
I
did you
don't
hear
know.
that his wife is like talking about how he's a closeted gay man or something?
Yeah, I follow her on Twitter.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I
that's kind of
love
funny.
Hillary.
Yeah.
Um, so like the name is referencing it. Like at this point, it's referencing something that may not even exist anymore. Uh, because we were just laughing about that kind of guy that exists now, like the self
Political pundit, like
yeah, the like
self-important.
self-appointed thought leader who's
Yeah.
like a dipshit. And so that was where we came up with the name. Like we were just like joking about like guys like Steven Crowder.
But your fan, whoever it was, they really hit it on the nail on the head with what the name actually is.
Oh
You know what
yeah,
I'm talking about? Yeah.
they came up with a more um sensible explanation for that name than what we even thought of. They were like, it's crack plus louder boys. So we were doing Robbie and I did the loud boys.
Oh
So
yeah.
obviously the next evolution of that would be the louder boys. Crack
I think
plus
Sarah's
that.
going to bed now.
It looks like Sarah's going to Betty Bye.
She's like, well, it's
Born.
been fun, guys.
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't know how we got on all this, but
I like it.
anyway, white. Yeah, what white trash, white rappers, crack.
Yeah.
I get. Hey, by the way, I gave Roll's album another spin today,
How is
and
it?
it's great, dude. I love
It's
Roll.
great. I don't know if I believe that.
Dude, I love Roll.
Albums.
Well, I really hope you guys become best friends or like there's some sort of like teacher or student thing that happens with you guys. I think that's a good idea.
Oh yeah, it'd be like Doink and Dink the clown.
Yeah, yeah,
Me, just
exactly.
me and Jelly Roll.
Yeah, it's Haas and Haas Jr.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
I like that guy. I want to talk to him. I should have him on the podcast.
Jelly Roll? You should have Jelly Roll on your
You-
podcast.
that
That'd be a huge
Oh,
catch. Wow. If you can
that
get
would be a
Jelly
good
Roll on the
get.
podcast, get me and Dalton on that one. That'd be fun.
Dude, I mean, we clown on Roll for sure,
Yeah.
but if I could buddy up with Roll, that would be a great boon to my career.
I mean,
Yeah.
oh, you're crazy, man. What are you saying?
Well, it's just I listened because I forget like why we started even talking about Jelly Roll to begin with. I think it was
I
like
thought we
like
were talking about Sacramento the whole time. I'm like,
Oh no, we're talking about Jelly Roll
well
now.
now we're talking about Jelly Roll because I listened to his new album again today. I think it was like
Oh, Sarah, I don't know if you're on Twitter or not. Dalton and Haas, aka Jelly Roll, are becoming great friends right
yeah,
now.
yeah. We started like joking about. We started just like laughing on the show a few weeks ago about like just Jelly Roll's whole deal, where in spite of his success, he's still just like, oh gee whiz, oh shucks, I can't believe a boy like me is getting to do all this. And
cute.
It's
in
got to
his
be a put on.
and his like eternal saccharine uh performance that he's giving, where just like everything is like,
It's
oh yeah,
almost minstrel. It's damn near minstrel. How
I'm just
like
broken on the, I'm beautifully broken, you know. And so it's just been like an ongoing bit, just like laughing about just Jelly Roll's whole thing. Because
it
I
is
mean,
funny.
I will say I listened to that album twice, and every single there's almost like no distinction between the songs. Like I
Yeah,
understand like a person having a sound where
right.
you know like a band will have a sound for sure, but I mean the Jelly Roll album, I was like,
Is it
there's
one
a,
song?
yeah, it feels like one long track because every song is all just like about like I'm just a big fat fuck up.
I'm fat and sad.
I thought I wasn't gonna make it, but I found the strength to power through, and now it's
I
every
found it in
song.
one of my chin rolls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and so
I'll
yeah,
try
we've
my
been laughing about that.
finger.
What's up,
What
Sarah?
happened there?
Oh, what happened to you?
You got a blood blister?
No, this shit, I do not even know how I got it. I mean, this thing I cooked and I burnt myself cooking, and then this one, I do not know how I got that.
Hmm.
I think I cut myself. It hurts a lot.
What if you were like hurting yourself while you're sleeping? That'd be no good.
You know what's funny is my cat scratched me. My cat scratched me like here, like a week or two ago. It's gone now. But my
Uh,
friends were like, "Are you hurting yourself?" I was like, "No."
you're like, oh, I almost guessed your age. That might have been a problem.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm so and so years old. I wouldn't be doing that.
I was like, "I've actually never done that. That is a good idea, but I never did that." Like I just, you know what I mean? I was like,
I had friends in high school who did that, but yeah, I was like, you probably shouldn't do that.
Who did what?
Like cutting themselves.
Oh yeah, but it feels good
Yeah.
to just to let it all out.
That's what I think that's exactly what they used to say,
"Forgot."
Dalton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The point is, I'm like, I do not know how I got this, but it hurts.
It looks like a burn.
It's a blood blister or something is what it looks like.
It's a cut that became blistered.
Damn.
You gotta like set up cameras in your house to
You
see
just
what you're
remind
doing.
you just
I
reminded me,
gotta,
um
yeah.
looking at your very feminine hands. The porn on Twitter is getting crazy.
Your hands
I think
reminded me of porns.
yeah, it reminded me of this thing I keep seeing where some lady keeps showing up on my For You page who's like the caption just says like, dude, starting the morning with some edge training, and it's just her like jacking a dude off and then stopping, and so she's like edging him, and I'm like,
It
yo,
just sounds torturous.
I cannot be starting my day this way. Like just like opening Twitter, and I'm just like seeing a woman just like jack a man's big penis off.
I just imagine Dalton waking up. He's like, "That's enough.
It's
That's about
crazy, dude.
enough."
That website used to be like somewhat
Yeah, I do like every once in a while I'll babysit like my nephew or nieces and like I'll be on Twitter on my phone. I'm like, I can't be on Twitter on my phone like while I'm
you
doing
can't,
this.
yeah, because if anyone looks over your shoulder, they're gonna be like, yo, what the
Yeah.
fuck, dude? You're like, hey man, it's the algorithm. It's
Yeah.
Click any of them, they're gonna show you more of that.
Yeah, if
yes.
you click on any of them, yeah, you're fucked. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know how it works because I've heard that if you just like hover over it too long, it locks it in, and it's like, oh,
Dude,
obviously you want to see more women getting butt fucked during.
I don't know what the fuck happened because like I don't look for violent stuff on Twitter or anything like that. But there was like a week where I had one video where it was this trans woman in like a gas station. So there's a guy who was checking out, just minding his own business, and this trans woman has an axe, and she walks up to him, and he looks over like, "What the fuck?" And she swings the axe at his face. He falls to the ground. He doesn't seem dead or anything. Then she like walks over him. There's this old Mexican fat lady who's like trying to get out of the place. She's like tripping over herself. That chick takes the axe, hits her in the stomach with it, and then just stomps off. like in her high heels or whatever. And then I saw like another one where it's just like this dude getting hit in the fucking face. He's another one who's at the cashier, gets hit in the head with a baseball bat. And I'm like, I'm not
Yeah.
going anywhere. Unless I have my gun, I guess. But that's like, but they're getting like side, like they're not even seeing it. So it's like, even if you have a gun, who knows?
Yeah. I'm seeing more and more just like posts where it's like a trans woman bent over and she's like, "You trying to eat this pussy?" And I'm like, "What pussy?"
Now, I suspect that has to do with your algorithm, Dalton.
Maybe, yeah, probably.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts. We should wind this
It
down.
is. There are a couple nuts. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a couple nuts, a very feminine penis.
Hmm.
Yes.
What were Sarah? You need to wrap this up.
Yeah. So you guys want to plug anything?
All right, all right. No, that was good. Or what do you got,
Uh
Dalton?
I'm glad you guys,
oh,
I'm glad we worked it out after I overslept the appointment.
Oh yeah, no, I'm glad that we did this for
it's all
sure.
good. The Crowder Boys. That's the show I do with Crack Amico and Robbie Goodwin. You can find that on youtube.com/ at the Crowder Boys. And we have a Patreon, patreon.com/ the Crowder Boys. That Patreon is starting to heat up. Now I have my channel, which is Corn Fed with Dalton Pruitt, youtube.com
I took
slash
over for
at
Sal on the Patreon episode recently. It was quite the
yes.
banger.
Uh and that's youtube.com/ at cornfed with Dalton Pruitt. There's also a Patreon for that. Patreon.com/ cornfed with Dalton Pruitt. So those are my projects.
I have a podcast called the Primitive State Podcast. It's right there. I don't have a Patreon right now. You can find it as soon as I have my throat back. There you go. You can find it on YouTube at PS Podcast Troy, and then you can also find me on Twitter at PS Podcast Troy. What do
Cool.
you have to plug, Sarah? What do you got going on?
You know, I'm trying to film a special in the winter.
Oh, all right. Stand-up special, huh?
Yeah, I have an hour of comedy. It's kind of funny because I was looking over all the jokes I have in the sets I filmed over 8 years, and
Yeah.
it's older work of mine that I used to hate. I like it again.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. Do you know where you're gonna shoot it?
The city, New York.
Right on. Do you know like a venue?
I wish, but the thing is, it's New York Comedy Festival, so no clubs are responding to me because they're so busy with the festival.
Oh, that sucks.
So
But
I'm
you'll get something figured out.
I'm waiting for it to be over, New York Comedy fucking festival.
When's it supposed to be over?
It's a November type event. It's happening now, basically. So I,
Oh,
I reached out to these people about a month ago to figure out a venue for the special I want to film, which is crazy because in my head, I don't do stand up that much. Like when I do stand up, I do stand up.
yeah.
I got a good impression of a Google like password checker. Sorry.
Wait, what?
A
Explain
Google.
that again.
You have an
Listen,
You do an
impression of a cat,
impression?
like a
I, I
captcha?
I killed at the creek one night, Dalton, like back when I met you at the creek or something.
Oh, okay.
I had a really good joke about like when the Google asks you to do the puzzles.
Yeah.
I, if you really are who you say that you are, what was your mother born? What is your middle name? And what street did you grow up on? Like I had an impression of Google. Like it was kind of cool, but the point is I'm not gonna do that in special. Like I was looking at old jokes I did, and I was like, some of these things are funny. Like my first year of comedy, I had 5 minutes that got groomed into all dating and sex material because I was performing at the Creek all the time.
Yeah.
And so those jokes are still funny though. Like I still like them. They're like, ladies, what kind of plastic surgery would you like? I want to get 5 boobs. I heard men love breasts. If I had three more than every other woman.
Dalton, what do you think about like a chick with 5 boobs?
Yeah, I can only imagine such a thing, such a wonder upon this earth.
Point. It's like, ladies, like, I wish I had another ear. One to listen to podcasts, one to listen to, one to ignore my husband. You know,
I mean, I would rather a woman just have two big ass titties than
Yeah. As
like,
opposed to like maybe like 3 little ones than like 2 big
yeah,
ones.
I
Yeah.
because yeah, like the what attracts me to titties is like the biology of it, like it's like a primal thing.
Yeah.
So a woman with more than two titties is like unnatural to look at. So I'd rather just a woman have big giant fucking tits.
Dude, there's a cashier lady I went to get my stuff from recently, and like I was really high, and I almost created a scene because I looked a little bit to the left. I saw she only had one arm. And I was just like, it's just one of
That's
those things.
that sounds dystopian. Yeah,
Yeah.
As long as she still got both titties.
Well, if I was sober, it would have been probably nothing. But I was just like, oh,
that's really funny. Sexual dimorphism, am I right? Like
yeah.
That lady on Twitter, Duck, Lauren Duck, she got some big ass titties.
Oh,
But
yeah. It's like she only has one arm,
she
right?
only has one arm, but she
Yeah.
posts like pictures of her tits.
Yeah.
anyway, tips. I'm gonna do his comedy. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm trying to shoot it in like January or something.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Because you know what's funny is I have like a fan base of um like mostly normal people.
Yeah.
They were like, I would go to the city to see you perform. And I was like, wow, like if I book a show, if I book the room, I could get 100 people out.
You got it because like and maybe I'm wrong, but I think like a large part of your fan base is like, oh, we love Sarah's dancing videos. I would imagine like a lot of that is so you should start it dancing, then end it dancing. Yeah.
Like Ellen.
I know, I love you guys. I gotta go to bed now. Can you tell?
Yeah, yeah, I had a feeling. Yeah. Oh,
Well,
so
thanks for having
you're
us.
on your floor bed right now.